Hi, I'm Kaylee, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Emily of New Moon Trilogy by L.M. Montgomery. The first thing I want to do is reach back here to our Booktuber Shoutout book and shout out a booktuber. Today's shout out goes to Jess Bookgirl TV, and their channel will be linked up above and down below, so be sure to go and check out their channel and subscribe to them. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel and give this video a like if you like Ellen Montgomery. When I was a young teenager, my mom bought me all of the Anna Green Gables series, and she got me the Emily of New Moon trilogy and several other different Ellen Montgomery books, because I was just falling in love with Ellen Montgomery. I think I read the Anne books when I was probably about 12, maybe 11 or 12 or something. And then I think probably the Emily books I might have read the very next year when I was 13 or 14. And I continued to read them through all my teenagehood and young adulthood. And I think I've reread Emily probably like 12 or 13 times, just a lot. These are definitely some of my favorite books. In the first book, Emily of New Moon, Emily is quite young. I think she's maybe 10 or 11. When her father dies, Emily goes to live at New Moon Farm with her aunts. She dreams of becoming a writer someday, but her strict Aunt Elizabeth has forbidden such frivolous things as writing poetry and fictional stories. Emily is such a courageous and sensitive little person. This book has really extreme emotions as she is grieving for her father, but also she finds so much joy in her writing. Emily, as she's growing up, explores really deep feelings and experiences. She deals with terrible grief and fear, but also she finds exquisite joy and beauty. All the characters, especially in this first book, are so vivid and interesting. They're all so different, from Aunt Elizabeth and Cousin Jimmy and little Perry and of course Teddy and Ilsa. They're all so different, and every person feels real. The writing really pulls you into the story, so you feel like you're right in the middle of the scene. And the plot has something funny and weird and new in every chapter. It is just such a delight to reread this old favorite. I always give this first book 5 stars. The second book is Emily Climbs. Emily is a teenager in this book. She's starting to grow up, she's honing her writing skills, and she's getting her education at Shrewsbury High School along with her best friends Perry and Teddy and Ilsa. She gets into innocent mischief and she makes honest mistakes, and she just generally has little adventures around Prince Edward Island. I really love the character development that Emily has in this book. There are some surprising developments with her family, the Murray clan. They begin to realize that she's no longer a little girl that they can bully, and that she's someone that they're going to have to respect. I love all the weird, funny adventures that Emily has while she's hanging out with her best friend, Ilsa. Their friendship is so wild and true and beautiful. It is a delight to read about 2 girls being such close friends and sharing their secrets and their dreams. There's only one storyline in this book that I don't like, and that is Dean Priest. He's basically a pedophile, and he creeps me out. He befriends Emily. He kind of takes an interest in her education and everything, but it's like, he's a creepo, okay? He's a creep. Despite not liking Dean Priest, I still give this book 5 stars. And the third book is Emily's Quest. Emily has graduated from high school now, and she's kind of setting off on her writing career as a young woman. But she is left behind at New Moon Farm while all of her friends go out to pursue their careers and to travel the world. She throws herself into her writing and she struggles to get her stories published, but she gradually earns the respect of her family as she begins to make her writing a success. Through a series of misunderstandings and mishaps, she loses connection with her childhood friends and her childhood sweetheart, Teddy. She searches for happiness with a man that she doesn't really love, and Emily has to face the truth within her own heart before she loses Teddy for good. This has always been my least favorite book in the Emily trilogy. She spends so much of the book being lonely and melancholy and depressed. and it makes me depressed. There isn't as much humor in this book as there is in the other ones. However, it is still an excellent book and an enjoyable read. I really love the intricacies of Emily's character as she kind of learns what does it mean to be grown up and to take responsibility for your own life. She is a deeply complex person, and I love these internal battles that she's fighting with herself. The plot is a little slow in places, especially when there are chapters that are taken directly from Emily's journal or diary. But there are other exciting scenes in the plot, and there are some really wild storylines that make up for the slower bits. Once again, the only storyline that I really don't like is the one with Dean Priest, because although technically Emily has grown up now, so I guess I can't really call him a pedophile anymore in this book, he's still a creepo, okay? He's just a jerk. He criticizes Emily's writing and he really discourages her, and he knows that he's discouraging her in her writing. He does it on purpose. And he's just a horrible person. The only other problem I have with this book is that the ending is much too rushed. It's very abrupt. It needs more of a denouement. Everything is just resolved much too quickly. And every time that I reread it, it kind of leaves me feeling unsatisfied. Still, it is a wonderful conclusion to Emily's story, and I give this one 4 stars. So please leave me a comment down below and let me know who is your favorite character in the Emily series. I think my favorite character is probably Perry, because he comes from such a poor background and he just educates himself and strives to better himself and has such big dreams that he can do anything and be anything he wants to be. I just find his character really, really inspiring. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.